Welcome to our Crypto News in 10, a daily podcast bringing you the latest news about crypto in under 10 minutes. It's Friday, January 23rd. Today's crypto rundown is packed. A decentralized social protocol is not shutting down and is sending investors a rare full refund. The first big crypto IPO of 2026 just rang the bell in New York. Another household hardware wallet brand is lining up its own Wall Street move. Coinbase is bringing quantum computing heavyweights together, and US market regulators are planning a joint session to clear the jurisdictional fog. Along the way, we'll watch how markets digest it all, Bitcoin hovering around the 90,000 line as traders look for a catalyst. MarketWatch and The Economic Times both noted a brief dip below 90,000, with stabilization near 89,800. Sources: MarketWatch, The Economic Times. Let's start with the Farcaster bombshell that isn't a shutdown. Co-founder Dan Romero says the team will return the full $180 million raised by Merkle Manufactory to investors, while the Farcaster protocol continues under new stewardship from Helm-backed infrastructure provider Nanar. Romero emphasized that Farcaster is not shutting down, citing roughly 250,000 monthly active users in December and more than 100,000 funded wallets. Several backers, including Balaji Srinivasan, publicly confirmed the capital return plan. It's an unusual outcome in crypto or tech. Full repayment, paired with a handoff designed to make the network more developer-focused. If you're tracking decentralized social, the message is continuity for users and builders, with a clean slate for the cap table. Source: The Block. Next up, BitGo's Wall Street coming out party. The digital asset infrastructure firm priced its IPO at $18 a share, above the initial range, raising about $212.8 million and valuing the company near $2.1 billion. Shares listed yesterday on the New York Stock Exchange under ticker BTGO, with the deal expected to close today. Filings show Goldman Sachs led the books, Citi joined as a bookrunner, and a slate of bulge bracket and specialist banks participated, another sign that crypto picks and shovels are going mainstream. Early trading saw a pop, then a fade, with an open more than 20% above the issue price before settling just above it. Typical IPO price discovery in a choppy tape. Whether you're bullish or cautious, BitGo's milestone adds a regulated, profitable crypto infrastructure name to public markets at a time institutions demand audited custody, trading, staking, and prime services. Source: Yahoo Finance. And because one listing rumor deserves another, Ledger is reportedly preparing a New York IPO targeting a valuation north of $4 billion. The Financial Times says the Paris-born hardware wallet maker has tapped Goldman Sachs, Jefferies, and Barclays, with a listing likely later this year. Ledger was valued around $1.5 billion in 2023, and management has said the US has the deepest capital pools for crypto firms. If this proceeds, you'll see a growing cohort of public, US-listed digital asset companies spanning custody, trading, stablecoins, and now consumer security, right as self-custody demand tends to spike after every market scare or exchange incident. The Financial Times also points to Chainalysis data estimating $17 billion in crypto thefts and scams last year, underscoring why a hardware brand with mainstream recognition could find eager investors. Source: Financial Times. Before we continue, here's a message from our sponsors.
Need elite developers fast? Elite Coders connects you with rigorously vetted senior engineers in 24 to 48 hours. Staff augmentation, dedicated teams, or full project delivery, we've got you covered. Visit elitecoders.co to get started today.
All right, let's get back to it. Story 4. Coinbase is going long on post-quantum security. The exchange unveiled an independent advisory board on quantum computing and blockchain, bringing together names like Scott Aronson, Dan Boneh, Justin Drake, Dalia Malki, Sriram Kannan, and others. The board's remit is to publish position papers, issue practical recommendations for developers and institutions, and react quickly to real breakthroughs in quantum computing that could threaten today's elliptic curve cryptography. This follows Coinbase Research's recent note on quantum timelines and migration paths, and it lands just days after fresh headlines from Jefferies analyst Chris Wood warning about long-run quantum risk for Bitcoin. Bottom line, there's no immediate threat, but crypto's biggest players are starting the multi-year migration conversation now, before any cryptographically relevant machines exist. Source: Coinbase. And fifth, a policy signal with potential market impact. The SEC and CFTC are set to hold a joint event on Tuesday, January 27th in Washington to highlight harmonization across the two agencies and U.S. financial leadership in the crypto era. New chairs, Paul Atkins at the SEC and Michael Selig at the CFTC have emphasized clearer coordination after years of turf battles. Industry press frames the move as part of a shift away from regulation by enforcement toward rulemaking and fraud-focused cases, noting a sharp drop in crypto enforcement counts last year under the new leadership. Mark your calendar. If that joint posture holds, it could influence everything from token listings to derivatives oversight and reduce compliance friction for exchanges and issuers. Source: SEC. Quick market check before we wrap. After last week's brief push toward the mid-90,000 range on ETF inflows, Bitcoin is churning around 90,000 again. MarketWatch notes dips below 90,000 as leverage unwinds, while the Economic Times calls it range-bound near 89,800. As traders wait for the next cue. Sources: MarketWatch, The Economic Times. Recap time. Farcaster isn't dead, and it's refunding investors as Naynar takes the wheel. BitGo opened the IPO window for crypto infrastructure, raising about $212.8 million on the New York Stock Exchange. Ledger is lining up a New York float at an eye-catching $4 billion valuation. Coinbase is future-proofing with a quantum advisory brain trust. And US regulators are literally sitting down together next week to hash out harmonization. We'll keep watching how all of this flows into price action, product roadmaps, and the next wave of institutional adoption. Thanks for listening and see you tomorrow.